Follow this straightforward tutorial to set up a 24/7 personal stock analysis assistant powered by OpenClaw, AlphaVantage, and an LLM and messaging service of choice. This demo utilizes the companion installation guide, linked near this video, and installs the agent on a Mac VM. If a dedicated Mac Mini is being used instead, skip ahead. First, make sure the macOS is fully updated. The VM install might fail otherwise. Copy these instructions to get Lume, our VM manager, and install the VM, which uses 8 gigs of RAM and 50 gigs of storage. Consider whether more or less is more suitable, but in any case, expect to wait upwards of 20 minutes for the install. Find something else to do, or keep watching and get an idea of what comes next. When it's done, run the VM with a display. In that window, go through macOS Setup Assistant. Things like Apple ID and accessibility are optional. Most importantly, we need to remember the username and password we created. When the desktop finally loads, go to System Settings, General, Sharing, and enable Remote Login. Once it's enabled, close the screen sharing window as it's no longer needed. Back in the host machine, open a second terminal and run these commands to find the VM's IP address. We'll SSH in with our username and that IP. Now we're inside the VM. Mac Mini users, pretend this terminal doesn't exist. Follow these instructions to install Homebrew and install Node. It'll take some time, but it should be straightforward. Now we're ready to install OpenClaw and run the onboarding wizard. There's a lot of choose your own adventure to configure the agent. Follow this demo or choose other preferences. Pick an LLM provider. We're using OpenAI here, as it's worth noting that OpenAI acquired OpenClaw's creator earlier this year, so it's a natural fit, but use whatever is suitable. We'll provide our super secret API key, no looksies, and select the latest available model for setup consistency. At time of recording, that's GPT-5.4. For the messaging service, we're using Telegram, as it's pretty easy to create an account and set up. The goal is to obtain a bot token from the messaging platform so the OpenClaw agent can communicate with us through our phone. Find instructions for getting a Telegram bot token further down in the companion guide. For other messaging services, consult documentation on OpenClaw and the messaging service providers. Although it's very useful, we don't need a web browser for basic setup, so let's skip that for now. Install the ClawHub skill. If this step accidentally gets missed, no worries, there are instructions later on to install manually. After submitting all these parameters, OpenClaw installs. When running over SSH, it's likely to get a gateway service failure and a health check failure, but these are not actual blockers. Installation completed just fine. We'll now install and configure the AlphaVantage Global Stock Analysis skill. Install UV and use it to install Market Data CLI, which powers the skill. Next, we'll provide our AlphaVantage API key as an environment variable, then install the Global Stock Analysis skill via ClawHub. Finally, start the gateway. On our mobile device, we'll message the Telegram bot with the command /start. It will send back a pairing code. In a new terminal session, run this pairing command followed by that code. We see a confirmation and our bot will start responding. From this point on, the OpenClaw agent is live, reachable through Telegram as long as the machine it's running on stays awake, whether the VM or the Mac Mini. In Telegram, send /new to the bot to start a new session. Ask it to list its skills, making sure to see Global Stock Analysis. Then, ask for a detailed report on a ticker of choice, and for sanity, confirm it's using a personal AlphaVantage API key, not the demo key. Congratulations, we're all set, and as long as the machine stays on, we have a 24/7 finance assistant that's always on call with access to market data from AlphaVantage. We can ask it for a quick quote before a meeting, have it run a deep dive on a stock we're researching, or ask it to message us proactively every morning with whatever information we need. Explore more on what the OpenClaw agent can do with skills, scheduling, and memory, and use it often to make it better.